Welcome to the guide of Astra Malorum. For your loadout, I recommend the Nova line, Ether Shroud for your field upgrade, Decoys for your tacticals, and Semtex for your lethals. Gums I recommend are On the House, Phoenix Up, Shields Up, Idolize, and Cashback. There's also a good point strategy you could do multiplayer or solo. If you're playing multiplayer, one person will need to bring Raindrops, Profit Sharing, and an Ultra you don't mind crushing. And the other people will need to bring Profit Sharing and 1 or 2 Ultra Gums that they don't mind crushing. If on solo, you just need 2 Ultras and a Raindrop. Once you are in game, everyone needs to pop Profit Sharing, ignore this on solo, and then pop Raindrops, and then grab the double points, and then everyone crushes their Gums. Make sure everyone stands next to each other. First, you'll need to follow the orange markers all the way to the observatory dome and activate the telescope. You then will need to follow 2 more markers to pick up 2 parts. These parts will be somewhere in the yellow circle. One part is inside the Machine Australis next to a dead zombie, and the other part is inside the Luminary next to a dead zombie. Head back to the telescope after picking up both and install the parts to the telescope. You will need to defend it till the countdown is over, and now you have Pack-a-Punch unlocked. Once you have Pack-a-Punch unlocked, you can start the Wonder Weapon quest. First, you will need to find Oscar on the map and shoot one of the UFO drones that are flying around him, and he will drop the part that you need to pick up. For the next part, you need a Pack-a-Punch weapon. Once you have one, head over to Tessie and spawn and shoot the hood with the Pack-a-Punch weapon, and a car battery will fall out. Pick it up. Next, you're going to go around the map and you'll see a light pole flashing. Shoot the lamp and the wires will come out. The last part, you will need Cryo Freeze on your gun and shoot 3 purple ether crystals around the map, and you'll get 3 absolute 0 fragments. Head over to the Stellar Dissector trap near Juggernog and interact right here, and you'll place the UFO, battery, and wires. Have Oscar come into the room with the trap and activate the trap. You will need to stay in this room with Oscar till the bar on the right is done and filled. Next, you will need to come over to Pack-a-Punch, and there will be a steaming valve. Shoot it, and you will have to quickly look for the next steaming valve. There will be 5 total. Only one will become steaming at a time, and you could hear it. Once you shoot all 5, the telescope will look up more, and you'll have to get another Oscar. Once you have another Oscar, bring him to the telescope, interact with the telescope, and aim the telescope at the sun and exit the telescope. Our orange beam will shoot out, lead Oscar into the beam, and he will turn orange and then die. The last step will once again need another Oscar, so once you have him, lead him to the speed cola room and interact with the rocket. It will start a countdown. Bring Oscar behind the rocket where the ice crystals are, and if you did it right, he will die. He will drop the Wonder Weapon at this point. If you didn't do it right, you will need to find 3 more of the ether crystals around the map and shoot him with the Cryo Freeze weapon to get 3 more crystals, and then repeat this step. Once you have the LGM-1 Wonder Weapon, you will once again need another Oscar and sneak behind him. Don't get his attention, and he will start talking to give you some quotes. You will need to listen out for the quote that mentions Elimination 20. Once you get this quote, you will hear 3 planets. Write down the order of the planets you get. On screen is a chart that has each planet with a number next to it. You will need to get the 3 planets that you found and make a 3-digit number in the same order that you have the planets. Once you have this 3-digit number, head to the telescope room and interact with this machine. If you did it right, a little lift will drop, and you'll have to go onto it and interact with the zombie to get a key. Once you have this key, go to the museum room and look next to the exfil machine. You'll see a bone saw. Break the glass and pick it up. Now head over to the cryo chamber and interact with it. This will open it, and you'll have to hold interact on the guy's head to get his brain. Head over to Juggernog and interact with the brain in this purple tube, and it will start a little defense phase where you need to protect the brain. When that is done, pick it up and head over to the Machine Australis room and put the brain in this machine. You won't be able to run while holding it. Once you place it, hold interact to connect it. Once you have connected the brain, you will need to go to the telescope room and interact with the telescope, and you will have to look directly at Mars, and then the bottom left, you'll see the coordinates and 4 numbers. Write down these 4 numbers. Head back to the Machine Australis room and interact with this machine. You put the numbers into it. Go back to where you place the brain, and you'll see book names flashing by. Write these book names down. You'll need to come into this room with all the bookshelves, and you'll see 3 statue heads. On the bookshelves are a bunch of books that have names on them. You will notice that you'll see some of the books you have written down. On screen is a chart that shows what books are on what shelves and where the statues are that correlate with the bookshelves. You will need to interact with each statue head the amount of times the book that you have written down are on these bookshelves next to the statue. In my game, I have 3 books, so I interacted with this statue 1 time because that's how many books I have that are on this shelf. I interacted with this other statue 1 time because of how many books are on this bookshelf, and I interacted with the last one 1 time. Once you got it correct, the hatch above the ladder will open, revealing Neptune. Pick it up. Come back into the room with all the planets and place the missing planet on this pole right here. Now you will have to find 3 papers around the map. These papers will have a planet and a compass direction on each one. One paper is in the Machine Australis room on a table. Write down the planet and the compass direction. The next paper is in the Luminary on a desk, and the last one is in the Archive of Orbis on a table. Once you have all 3 planets and compass directions written down, you need to go back to the room with all the planets and shoot each planet to the compass direction like I'm doing. If you shoot the left side of the planets, they will move right. If you shoot the right side, they will move left. Once you have all 3 in the right spot, you will need to interact with the computer with the brain on it, and a lockdown will start. You will need to protect the purple ore by shooting the UFOs that Oscar is shooting till the bar is finished. If you're on solo, only 1 UFO will spawn. If you're playing co-op, then 2 UFOs will spawn. If you don't complete the bar before the time runs out, you need to end the round and interact with the computer again. The best strat for this is to keep Oscar away from the middle as much as possible. Circle around the room with him. Once you are finished, you'll be sucked into the portal and end up on Mars with a beautiful rendition version of Pareidolia, the Easter egg song from Shangri-La. Once you are in, you will need to pick up the brain that teleported to the middle of the area and place it on the machine by the teleporter. Hold interact with it to connect it to the machine. Once you do that, interact with the brain and you'll hear a strange sound. Come over to this window here and shoot these pylons with a gun in order I do. You will need to wait for the bird to reach the pylon before going to the next one. Do back right, back left, front right, front left, and then turn around and shoot the pylon above the teleporter. This next step is time, so you have to be quick. But you can extend the time by shooting the pylon above the teleporter over and over again. The bird will fly over you and you will have to wait till it goes towards the ground to pick it up. Do not shoot it or it will fly away. You could also use the zero gravity to pick it up easily. If it flies away, you'll need to end the round, interact with the brain till you hear that sound again, and shoot the pylons in the same order. Once you pick it up, place it on the stone formation. Use the teleporter on Mars to come back to the telescope room and interact with the piano, and you'll get two symbols. Write down those two symbols with a blank after them too. Then interact with the piano again and write down the other two symbols. Go back to Mars to the teleporter and these poles will be out of the pylons. Shoot the wonder weapon at the pylon poles to activate them. Doesn't matter what order you shoot them in. This has to be all of them. Once all of them are activated, you'll need to interact with each pylon symbol the same order as the piano symbols. You have to interact with the first two and then figure out which symbol you are missing from the four symbols that you got from the piano and interact with that third one. You have to interact with that one third before doing your last two symbols. On screen is a map with each symbol where they are on the pylons. Once you interact with your four in the right order, interact with the last one, and now you are ready for the boss. Do not interact with the brain at this point till you're ready for the boss fight, because this will start the vote, or if you're on solo, it will put you right into the boss fight. Getting ready for the boss. The perks I recommend are Juggernog, Speed Cola, Stamina Up, Quick Revive, PhD, and Double Tap. I recommend at least a purple rarity weapon, but definitely get gold if possible. Weapon is based on choice, but something that is medium range at least. If you are running equivalent exchange on Quick Revive, you should run the Jaeger Pack-a-Punch because it does good damage to pick you up. Keep these double pack just to buy ammo. You can get tier 2 armor, but I strongly recommend tier 3 because the boss has a lot of damage in the later stages. A score streak I recommend is the injection, as it will make you invulnerable for a few seconds. Self revives and armor plates can be bought from the crafting table, same as the injection. There is currently a broken strat for later on in the boss fight that uses Frenzy Guard with the Frenzy Fire augment and the wonder weapon that lets you shred the boss, but this will definitely be patched in the future. The gums I strongly recommend is Aftertaste, Shields Up, and Cashback on solo, but on multiplayer, Near Death Experience, and Phoenix Up. Do not run healing aura during this boss. There is a bug that will heal the boss in the later stages. Once you are ready for the boss, interact with the brain on Mars. Boss fight. This boss has 4 stages to it. You get to the next stage by beating its health bar. There will be an occasional shock mimic in this boss as well. The first stage is fairly easy. First, you will need to fill a soul box on the right side of the map. You can fill this soul box anywhere in the arena. The boss will damage you during this by shooting a laser at each player in the game. You will know this full by getting a quote. You then need to go to the brain and hold interact with the bar is finished, and you will do damage to the boss. The next step is pretty much the same. There will be a soul box on the left side that you need to fill. The boss will now send meteors that leave lava on the ground. Avoid them. Once you get the quote, hold interact with the brain and you'll do damage. The last step is filling up both soul boxes. The boss will now spit out gas at the lower area of the arena, so you need to stay upwards while the gas is there while avoiding the other attacks. Once both are filled, you'll get the quote and you have to interact with the brain, bring you to the next stage. The second stage, there will be a rock boss that will throw small rocks at you and slam the ground. While the boss is about to slam, you could jump in the air to avoid it. Damage the boss and eventually a weak point will be exposed that will do big damage. Keep doing damage and be on the move constantly and you'll get to the next stage. The third stage is very similar to the second stage, but just the rock throw and the slam will be bigger and stronger. The boss will be a little faster as well. Just do damage to the weak point is exposed and do big damage to the weak points and you'll be on the last stage. The fourth and final stage is very strong. The slams will be even bigger and the rocks will now release an AoE attack that damage you a lot. This is the point where you want to use Frenzy Guard if you have it with the wonder weapon. You will melt the boss in a few seconds. Stay on the move constantly and you should be able to destroy this boss. If you aren't using Frenzy Guard, just damage the boss till a weak point gets exposed and then shoot the weak point till the boss is dead, and congratulations, you have beat the boss. Yay! Thank you guys for watching. I hope this helped and I will see you next time. See ya!